My friend Salvador Dali, the famous Spanish painter, gave me a painting of his concept of psycho-cybernetics. In the center of this painting is a world divided in two parts. The left is a world in shadow from frustration. Here you have man's image shrunken to the size of a small potato, moving away from reality, from the world, toward the black angel of destruction. Below you see a ship without any sails, about to capsize in the rough seas of frustration. The other half of man's inner world is a world of sunlight through confidence. Here man's image is 10 feet tall, and he's walking towards the sun. A swallow is flying toward the sun. Below, you see a ship in calm waters about to reach port. And what is this port? Peace of mind. And so we, as individuals, must realize that we have two worlds within us. A world in shadow from frustration and a world in sunlight from confidence. And we can easily learn to walk away from this shadowed world of frustration into the dawn of a new world through confidence. Therefore, the first fundamentally important lesson of psycho-cybernetics is that you have a self-image and that you can change your self-image.
I've heard that people are going to be the way they always are going to be by the time they're in grade school. How can older people change?
Age doesn't mean anything, because at any age, if you learn that negative feelings make your image shrink to the size of a small potato, and if you learn to turn your back on the failures of the past and concentrate on the confidence of yesterday and use that confidence today, now, N-O-W, in your present undertaking, you will learn how to succeed in life. There are 11 other lessons or steps, and the second one is that you have a success mechanism within you, a self-serval mechanism that will steer your mind to a productive goal if you will let it. For example, when I want to pick up this pen, I pick it up successfully without effort. But as a child, I zigzagged many, many times before I knew how to do it successfully. I forgot the failures, and as a child, I just remembered the past successes and use it now as an adult. In the same way, you could learn to pick up success and happiness by forgetting your past. If in a present undertaking you want to achieve a goal, you call upon your past experiences, the sum total of which is in a tiny electronic computer, a tiny tape recorder in your midbrain. If you call upon your past successes, you succeed. If, on the other hand, you call upon your past failures, you fail even before you start, simply because you cannot think positively with negative feelings any more than you can think negatively with positive feelings. Therefore, your first two lessons of creative psycho-cybernetics are, one, that you have a self-image and that you can improve it. The second step or lesson is that you have a self-serval mechanism or success mechanism that steers your mind to a productive goal, which is what psycho-cybernetics really is. Your third important lesson teaches you that you can use your imagination either constructively or destructively.
How can a person make his imagination either positive or negative?
Well, because you are the product of your imagination, win, lose, or draw. If a boy at school thinks he's stupid because he was told he was stupid, he will act and prove to the world that he is stupid. If a salesman who has failed in one undertaking feels that he's a failure, he will always act as a failure to prove to the world he's a failure. When people who are in a habit of shortchanging themselves realize the potential within them that they can rise to their full stature of self-respect as somebody, the results are fantastic. They realize that they're better than what they think they are through psycho-cybernetics. The whole secret of reaching self-fulfillment and self-respect and success as a human being by remembering, and remembering only this, that is the opinion of yourself that counts. If you think well of yourself because of some accomplishment and have that confidence which brings a smile to your self-image, you will succeed. On the other hand, if you think in negative terms because of some frustration, believing that you are a failure because of that one error, you will fail unless you change your self-image like Anna did.
Can a person do this by themselves, or do they need some sort of help?
They can do that absolutely by themselves if they realize that most people shortchange themselves. They think because they fail, they're a failure. A mistake doesn't make a failure. The business of living is to rise above a mistake. That's what success is, not just being successful. The whole business of success is the capacity to rise above a blunder, a failure. And that's how you do it, by using your imagination constructively. The fourth lesson of psycho-cybernetics teaches you not only to think creatively, but act creatively. You learn to reach your goal by exercising your servo mechanism, your success mechanism, refusing to be sidetracked by negative feelings. You learn to do one thing at a time. You learn to live in the present. The past is forgotten, lost in the tomb of time. If a situation in the present defies solution, you sleep on it, not with it. And in that way, you permit your success mechanism to work subconsciously while you sleep.
Will this work on everyone?
It'll work on anyone who has negative feelings. And all of us at some time have negative feelings. But I'd like to stress one point. When I talk about frustration, I don't mean frustration during a day. Everyone has that. What I'm talking specifically about is chronic frustration, the problems of yesterday that you continually bring in to every day, where you carry 45 pounds of extra mental weight on your mental back. It's the repetition of this kind of negative feeling of the past that you carry into the present that makes it chronic frustration that I'm opposed to, and that you can turn your back on these negative feelings by concentrating on the past only if you remember the confidence of the past. You live in the present now, N-O-W. And you also learn the art of relaxation, which is the fifth important lesson of psycho-cybernetics.
How do you relax with confidence so you can achieve success?
You can program success like a computer is programmed. And you do that by forgetting your past failures, refusing to permit negative feelings of yesterday to dominate your chances for success today. Instead, you concentrate on your successes, on the confidence of past successes that you use in the present. You improve your self-image when you learn the important aspect of relaxation. One, you forgive others with no strings attached. Two, you forgive yourself. Three, you see yourself at your best as a person of confidence. Four, you learn to keep up with yourself, not with someone else. The sixth lesson teaches you the power of beliefs. Now, these beliefs can be either true or false, but if you believe them, you'll act that part. Beliefs become habits, and habits are nothing more than self-hypnosis, just like you learn to brush your teeth. The important aspect of the sixth lesson is that you learn to dehypnotize yourself from negative beliefs as Anna did. You learn to live happily and successfully. There are 3 8-hour periods to a day. 8 hours for work, 8 hours for relaxation, and 8 hours for sleep. And those 8-hour periods, those middle 8-hour periods, are very vital to you. You are a king or a queen during those 8 hours. Who asked you to bring the troubles of your office into your home? Who asked you to bring the troubles of your home into your office? During those middle 8-hour periods, you learn to improve your self-image by concentrating on your success, and you make your image grow as tall as you want it to be. Which brings us to the 7th lesson, the quest for happiness. Believe it or not, happiness is a habit.
You mean unhappiness is a habit, too?
It's just as much a habit as happiness, and it's just as easy to be happy as unhappy. You must learn that happiness belongs to you, like your eyes, like your heart, like your pulse. You reach for it. But when you reach for it, you must remember that you must not step on other people's toes, and what's equally important, you must not step on your own toes with negative feelings. Regardless of your age, regardless of your calling, regardless of your training, experience, or education, one thing common to every human being is the desire to be happy. The 8th lesson or step in creative psycho-cybernetics teaches you the various phases of the success mechanism, which will make your image grow as tall as you want it to be. S-U-C-C-E-S-S. That spells success. S, a sense of direction, your goal. U, understanding, where you understand your needs and the needs of other people. C, courage. C, compassion. E, esteem, self-respect. S, self-acceptance, that you are somebody even though you've made a mistake, you rise above it. And finally, S, self-confidence. These are the 7 aspects of success that will make your image grow as tall as you want it to be. The 9th lesson in creative psycho-cybernetics teaches you about the failure mechanism which scars your self-image, and you learn about it only to realize the enemy within you in order to avoid it. F-A-I-L-U-R-E, which spells failure. F, frustration, which brings A, aggressiveness of the wrong kind, which brings I, insecurity, which brings L, loneliness, the great scourge of mankind, which brings U, uncertainty, which brings R, resentment, which brings E, emptiness, which makes you walk away from life, from reality. You remember F-A-I-L-U-R-E in order to avoid it and concentrate on the success mechanism within you. The 10th lesson in creative psycho-cybernetics teaches you how to be your own plastic surgeon, where you learn to remove the emotional scar within you that you put there yourself. You learn to be your own plastic surgeon by remembering to be too big to be threatened, by remembering to be self-reliant, and by remembering to relax. The 11th lesson in creative psycho-cybernetics teaches you how to stand up under stress, how to change a crisis into an opportunity.
You mean, Doctor, by positively approaching a stress, one can overcome this stress?
Yes, by not only positively thinking about it, but doing something creatively about it. You learn how to stand up under stress when you learn to practice without pressure, like money players in sports. You tackle a problem realistically by exercising your servo mechanism, your success mechanism within you that will steer your mind to a productive goal. The 12th and final lesson of creative psycho-cybernetics teaches you that you can be a winner just as easily as you can be a loser. You can change your luck deliberately. How? By simply concentrating on these two important points. One, you refuse, absolutely refuse, to let your negative feelings like frustration make your image shrink and shrink and shrink to the size of a microbe. You concentrate on your confidences of the past and use it continually in the present undertaking until it becomes second nature to you. You can use it whenever you want to, and it's like instant confidence. You become a winner when you learn to be yourself by understanding your rights, that you came into this world to succeed and not to fail, by selecting realistic goals to reach fulfillment, by exercising your creative success mechanism to achieve these goals. Now, these are the 12 fundamental points in creative psycho-cybernetics that will teach you to reach self-fulfillment as a human being, to be successful and happy.
Dr. Maltz has been lecturing before many audiences throughout the United States. And during his tenure of time, many questions have been asked. A list of those most frequently asked has been compiled.
Can you tell me how we can be ourselves?
Yes. Regardless of age or career, whether you're a student or a teacher, a doctor or a nurse, a lawyer or secretary, a salesman or a manager, the important thing to realize is that you can't be a friend to others unless you're a friend to yourself first. You can't be a success with others unless you're a success with yourself first. You can't have the love of other people unless you have the love of yourself first. Even though you've made a blunder, you must learn to rise above it. It means hard work, but it's the greatest adventure in your whole life, something worth fighting for. You program yourself for countless goals, and when you reach one goal, the business of creative living is to reach for another.
How does this differ from positive thinking?
That's a very good question. Now, positive thinking says what it means. Think positively. Now, creative psycho-cybernetics means more than thinking. You think creatively, but you change that thought into a creative performance. In other words, psycho-cybernetics means doing. When? Now.
Is this a form of psychoanalysis?
No, it isn't, but it goes further than that. Psychoanalysis delves into the past, which is perfectly all right. But what is vital is that, suppose you know about the past. What are you going to do about your life now? N-O-W. And creative psycho-cybernetics means living creatively now, regardless of what the past is.